we're here with Bob Weber from 6D Helmets. 6D's got a great new technology that no one else has for mitigating impact for bicycle and motorcycle sports. So I'm going to ask Bob some questions today about 6D and what it does. So Bob, what makes 6D different?
Well, basically, Jeff, what we have is a technology that we call Omni-Directional Suspension that is housed inside of our helmet. And basically what we have is a two-layer EPS system that is inside the helmet and has a suspension system between it. So what our system does is it allows the helmet to shear in rotation and compress in a linear fashion to reduce the energy transfer, both rotational and linear acceleration to the brain, and thereby provide superior protection.
Okay. Right, and in terms of 6D, what does 6D mean?
6D is named, it came from the technology really. It provides 6 degrees of freedom, which is an engineering term about the ability to rotate around the X, Y, and Z axes in both translation and rotation.
Okay, great. And what makes your helmet different than, say, other helmets I can buy? What makes 6D different?
Well, really what makes us different is our technology. The ODS technology is exclusive to 6D helmets. It's proprietary. It was invented by myself and my partner Robert Reisinger, and we engineered it to provide a safer helmet environment for the athlete in the event of an accident.
And in terms of safer, I've heard a lot about NFL players, and I heard about a BMX guy, David Mirra, that had a lot of low impact stuff. And is that what you mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, post-mortem autopsy on Dave's brain confirmed that he did in fact have the chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE disease, and that has now been connected with in the NFL and professional football players, and they're tying it into repetitive concussive incidents or multiple low subconcussive impacts to the brain. So anything we can do to isolate that energy transfer from the brain is a benefit to the athlete, and that's what we set out to do, is solve that equation. You may or may not be aware that we were accepted. We were one of 5 companies that was accepted into the NFL's Head Health Challenge. They had 125 applicants for this grant funding to help develop our technology for a multi-impact helmet environment. So we're one of 5 that made it into the program. We're the only helmet company that's in the program, and everything we're learning inside the development and research and testing inside the NFL's Head Health Challenge will come back and pay dividends to the motorcycle and bicycle helmets that we build in the future.
So one question there that's interesting, I see these NFL guys, they're 300-pound guys and running into each other. I'm just riding a bicycle. Is it still relevant for me?
Oh, absolutely, because it's all about head impact. Unfortunately, riding our dirt bike or our bicycle, falling off is part of the activity. It happens. You're going to crash your dirt bike, you're going to crash your BMX bike, you're going to crash your downhill mountain bike or your cross-country mountain bike. And in a high instance of those crashes, you have a head impact involved. And our goal is to further protect the brain and the athlete from those impacts.
Right. And why do normal helmets not do that well enough? I've been wearing a bicycle helmet for 30 years. They've got all these sort of tests, and it seems like they're pretty safe. Why do we need a new helmet?
Well, it's real interesting. So for certification in the bicycle market and also the motorcycle market, the helmet has to pass standards that have a very high energy threshold requirement to basically protect from skull fracture, which is where the standards were developed 20-25 years ago, was to protect against skull fracture. We really didn't know what was going on with the brain at that time. And the helmets do that very well. They very high density EPS inside of a compact frame. The problem therein is they are not effective on low energy compliance. They don't do a good job of managing the energy at the concussive level and up even. So our system softens up the helmet and the low energy side. Nobody talked about low threshold performance before 6D was in the the game here, and we've basically been able to extend the breadth of protection, or the area of compliance where the helmet's doing work is much broader than a traditional helmet design.
So basically, even if you don't crack your skull, you can still injure yourself by running into something at lower speed, get your bell rung, right?
Is that what you mean? Absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
The brain's floating in cerebral fluid, and when the head stops, the brain smashes into the inside of the skull, and it's that shearing and tearing that goes along with those impacts that does the damage.
Cool, excellent. And why'd you start 6D?
Oh gosh, I had some awareness that helmets weren't doing everything they needed to do, and just pondering that problem. How could we build a better helmet? Really, I was road cycling when I kind of said, you know what, we got to isolate the outside surface of the helmet from the inside surface. So it's like a dual layer system, but we got to put technology in there to manage that and control the shear and the compression and everything. So that's when I reached out to my partner Robert, and who's a brilliant engineer and has a lot of experience with suspension systems and elastomeric systems. And I said, Robert, I need your help. I think we can build a better motorcycle helmet and a better bicycle helmet. Robert really was kind of unaware of the situation, but he looked at it and goes, you know what, I think you're onto something here. I think we can. And so we put our heads together and started 6D.
Cool. Well, I'm really excited. After reading all this stuff about the NFL, I ride a bike. I know I crash every so often, and that's really exciting. So, hey, thank you so much. I love that explanation. Great.
Yeah,
thanks
Jeff,
so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Great. Thanks.